What if I told you that every interaction you have, every conversation, every transaction, every relationship is governed by invisible laws of energy exchange that most people are entirely unaware of? What if you feel drained around certain people? Why do some opportunities keep slipping through your fingers? Or why does abundance seem to flow to others, but not because you've been violating these universal laws without knowing it? In the next 30 minutes, I will reveal the ancient secret language of energy exchange that the most powerful civilizations understood, but were deliberately hidden from the masses. This isn't philosophy. This isn't spirituality. This is practical energy mechanics that will transform every aspect of your life once you understand it. The hidden dynamics of energy exchange. Every moment of your life involves energy exchange. When you have a conversation, you're exchanging energy. When you spend money, you're exchanging energy. You're participating in complex energy exchanges that follow precise universal laws when you eat food, make love, or even think a thought. The ancient Egyptians called this ma'at, the principle of balance and reciprocity that governs all interactions in the universe. The Hermetic masters spoke of it as the Great Exchange, the perpetual flow of energy that maintains cosmic harmony. Eastern traditions referred to it as the law of karma, not as a system of punishment and reward, but as the natural equilibrium of energy throughout all dimensions of reality. What's fascinating is that modern quantum physics has confirmed exactly what these ancient traditions understood. Energy is never lost, only exchanged and transformed. Every quantum interaction follows precise laws of energetic balance. Nothing is random, nothing is accidental. Everything is an exchange. But here's what most people don't realize. These laws of energy exchange operate whether you know them or not. When you understand them, you can consciously navigate the invisible currents of energy that flow through your life. You create energetic imbalances that manifest as struggle, scarcity, and suffering when you violate them, even unknowingly. The 4 types of energy exchange. Based on ancient wisdom traditions from around the world, 4 fundamental types of energy exchange govern all interactions in the universe. Type 1, equal exchange. This is the most basic form of energy exchange, where equal value is given and received. In business, this is a fair transaction where both parties feel satisfied. In relationships, it's the mutual give and take that creates harmony and balance. In nature, it's the perfect symbiosis where each participant benefits equally. Equal exchange creates stability and sustainability. When energy flows equally in both directions, the exchange can continue indefinitely without depleting either party. This is why the most successful businesses and the most fulfilling relationships operate primarily through equal exchange. Type 2, delayed exchange. In this form of exchange, energy is given now with the understanding that it will be returned later. This creates an energetic debt or credit until the exchange is completed. Traditional banking operates on this principle, as do many aspects of human interaction. When you help someone with the expectation that they'll help you in the future, you're creating a delayed exchange. When you invest energy in learning a skill that will pay off later, you're participating in a delayed exchange with yourself. Even planting a garden is a delayed exchange with nature. You give energy now and receive the harvest later. Type 3, amplified exchange. This is where a small amount of energy is given in one form, and a larger amount is received in another. This isn't about getting something for nothing. It's about strategic energy conversion. When you plant one seed and grow a tree producing thousands of fruits, that amplifies exchange. That's amplified exchange when you share an idea that inspires thousands of people. The universe naturally supports amplified exchange when it serves the highest good. This principle is behind true abundance, not taking more than your share, but creating systems where everyone receives more than they contribute. Type 4. Transformative exchange. The most potent exchange form doesn't just transfer energy. It transforms it into something entirely new. This is the alchemical principle of transmutation applied to energy dynamics. In a transformative exchange, both parties are fundamentally changed by the interaction. Deep conversation, authentic intimacy, and profound spiritual experiences are all transformative exchanges where you emerge differently than you entered. The highest form of teaching and healing operates through transformative exchange, where both the giver and receiver are elevated to new states of consciousness. The universal laws of energy exchange. Now that you understand the 4 types of exchange, let's explore the universal laws that govern how energy flows between individuals and groups, and even between you and the universe itself. The law of equivalence. The first law states that all energy exchanges must balance eventually. This doesn't mean that every individual exchange must be equal at the moment, but there must be energetic equivalence across the totality of your interactions. If you consistently take more than you give, you create an energetic deficit that must eventually be balanced, consciously through generosity or unconsciously through loss. The ancients understood this law intuitively. This is why every major spiritual tradition emphasizes generosity and service, not as moral imperatives, but as energetic necessities. When you give freely, you open yourself to receive abundantly. When you hoard energy, whether in the form of money, knowledge, or love, you block the flow of new energy into your life. The law of intention. The second law states that the intention behind an energy exchange determines its ultimate effect. 2 people can perform the same action, giving a gift, sharing knowledge, offering help. But the energetic result will be completely different if their intentions differ. When you give with the pure intention of contributing to another's well-being, you create a clean, harmonious exchange. When you give with hidden agendas, manipulation, or the expectation of return, you create energetic distortions that contaminate the exchange. The ancient Hawaiian tradition of Ho'oponopono was built around this understanding. They recognized that clean energy exchange required pure intention and developed specific practices for clearing corrupted intentions from their interactions. The law of resonance. The third law states that energy exchanges flow most easily between parties with resonant frequencies. This is why certain relationships, opportunities, and communities naturally attract you while others repel you. It's all about energetic resonance. When you're vibrating at a frequency of abundance, you naturally attract exchanges with others who share that frequency. When you're vibrating at a frequency of lack, you consistently engage in exchanges reinforcing that lack. The ancient yogic tradition understood this principle deeply. They developed techniques for consciously elevating your vibrational frequency to attract higher exchanges. This isn't manipulation. It's energetic alignment. The law of circulation. The fourth law states that energy must remain in circulation to maintain power. Stagnant energy, whether in the form of hoarded wealth, unexpressed emotion, or unused knowledge, gradually loses its potency. Only circulating energy maintains and amplifies its force. This is why the ancient wisdom traditions emphasize tithing, teaching, and energetic cleansing. They weren't just moral practices. They were practical techniques for keeping energy in healthy circulation. You become a conduit for increasingly powerful exchanges when you allow energy to flow through you rather than try to possess it. The energetic anatomy of exchange. To master the language of energy exchange, you need to understand the specific energy centers in your body that regulate different types of exchanges. The root center, physical exchange. Located at the base of your spine, this center governs exchanges related to survival, security, and physical resources. Money transactions, business deals, and material exchanges are all regulated by this center. You engage in fair, sustainable physical exchanges when this center is balanced. You neither exploit others nor allow yourself to be exploited. You understand the actual value of physical resources and exchange them appropriately. When this center is imbalanced, you either become grasping and materialistic, hoarding resources out of fear, or undervalue yourself and give away your energy too cheaply. The sacral center, emotional exchange. Located in your lower abdomen, this center governs emotional, pleasure, and creativity exchanges. Romantic relationships, artistic collaborations, and experiences of joy all involve this center. When balanced, you give and receive emotional energy freely, but discerningly. You create boundaries that allow for deep connection without emotional drainage. You experience pleasure without attachment or addiction. When imbalanced, you either become emotionally dependent, constantly seeking validation from others, or emotionally closed, unable to connect with others truly. The solar plexus center, power exchange. This center is located above your navel and regulates exchanges of personal power, will, and confidence. Leadership dynamics, competition, and self-expression all engage this center. When balanced, you assert your power without dominating others. You lead when appropriate and follow when appropriate. You engage in healthy competition that elevates all participants. When imbalanced, you either become controlling and manipulative, using power to diminish others, or weak and submissive, giving away your power unconsciously. The heart center, love exchange. Located in the center of your chest, this center governs exchanges of unconditional love, compassion, and spiritual connection. This center involves deep friendships, family bonds, and communion with higher consciousness. When balanced, you give love freely without expectation of return. Yet you naturally attract love because your heart is open to receive it. You understand that love is not a limited resource to be hoarded, but an infinite force that grows through sharing. When imbalanced, you either become needy and clingy, desperately seeking love from others, or closed and distant, unable to give or receive love truly. The throat center, truth exchange. Located in your throat, this center regulates truth, expression, and communication exchanges. Teaching, speaking, writing, and all forms of self-expression engage this center. When balanced, you speak your truth clearly while remaining open to the truth of others. You express yourself authentically without imposing your views. You listen as profoundly as you talk. When imbalanced, you either become dominating in conversation, speaking over others and dismissing their perspectives, or you silence yourself, unable to express your thoughts and feelings. The third eye center, wisdom exchange. Located between your eyebrows, this center governs intuition, insight, and wisdom exchanges. Mentorship, spiritual guidance, and visionary collaboration all involve this center. When balanced, you share your insights without intellectual arrogance and remain open to wisdom from unexpected sources. You trust your intuition while respecting the intuitive gifts of others. When imbalanced, You either become dogmatic and rigid in your thinking, believing you have all the answers, or you discount your wisdom, constantly seeking guidance from others. The Crown Center, Consciousness Exchange. Located at the top of your head, this center regulates exchanges with universal consciousness. Meditation, prayer, and communion with the divine all engage this center. When balanced, you maintain an open channel to universal wisdom while remaining grounded in your human experience. You receive divine inspiration and express it through practical action. When imbalanced, you either become spiritually arrogant, believing yourself superior to others, or spiritually dependent, unable to trust your connection to the divine. The Energy Exchange Audit. Now that you understand the energetic anatomy of exchange, it's time to audit your exchange patterns. This powerful exercise will reveal where you're creating balance and where you're creating distortions in your energy field. Step 1. Physical Exchange Audit. Examine how you exchange physical energy and resources. Do you charge appropriately for your work? Or do you undervalue yourself? Do you pay others fairly for their contributions? Do you give to those in need without expecting a return? Do you receive gifts and help graciously? Notice any patterns of imbalance. Do you tend to overcharge or undercharge? Do you hoard resources or give them away too freely? These patterns reveal your relationship with physical exchange. Step 2. Emotional Exchange Audit. Look at how you exchange emotional energy. Are you always the supporter, never receiving emotional support yourself? Do you drain others with your emotional needs? Can you celebrate others' success without envy? Can you accept compliments and love without discomfort? Identify your emotional exchange patterns. Are you an emotional giver or a taker? Are there certain relationships where the emotional exchange is particularly imbalanced? These patterns reveal your relationship with emotional exchange. Step 3. Power Exchange Audit. Examine how you exchange power and influence. Do you dominate conversations and decisions? Do you defer too easily to others' opinions? Can you lead when necessary and follow when appropriate? Do you use manipulation to get your way? Notice your power exchange patterns. Do you tend to overpower or be overpowered? In which contexts do you feel most empowered or disempowered? These patterns reveal your relationship with power exchange. Step 4. Truth Exchange Audit. Look at how you exchange truth and communication. Do you speak honestly, even when it's difficult? Do you listen deeply to others' truths? Do you use communication to create a connection or to control? Can you express disagreement respectfully? Identify your truth exchange patterns. Are you overly blunt or too indirect? Do you speak more than you listen? These patterns reveal your relationship with truth exchange. Step 5. Wisdom Exchange Audit. Examine how you exchange wisdom and insight. Do you share your knowledge generously or hoard it to maintain an advantage? Do you acknowledge the source of your wisdom? Are you open to learning from those with less formal education or status than you? Notice your wisdom exchange patterns. Do you position yourself as the expert or the eternal student? Can you both teach and learn in the same interaction? These patterns reveal your relationship with wisdom exchange. Step 6. Consciousness Exchange Audit. Look at how you exchange with universal consciousness. Do you take time for receptive practices like meditation and prayer? Do you express gratitude for insights and inspiration? Do you implement the wisdom you receive? Identify your consciousness exchange patterns. Are you more comfortable giving or receiving in your relationship with the divine? These patterns reveal your relationship with consciousness exchange. The 5 corruptions of energy exchange. Throughout history, specific patterns of energy exchange have been identified as particularly destructive to individual and collective well-being. Understanding these corruptions allows you to recognize and avoid them in your interactions. Corruption 1. Exploitation. This occurs when one party deliberately extracts more value than they give, knowing the exchange is imbalanced. In business, this looks like underpaying workers while overcharging customers. In relationships, it's manipulating others' emotions for personal gain. In spiritual contexts, it's using others' devotion to feed your ego. Exploitation creates a karmic debt that must eventually be balanced. Ancient traditions understood this as a spiritual law, not a moral judgment. When you exploit others, you're not gaining. You're creating an energetic deficit that will demand payment with interest. Corruption is 2. Entitlement. This corruption occurs when you expect to receive without giving. It's the belief that you're somehow exempt from the universal exchange laws. Entitlement can manifest as expecting others to serve you, believing you deserve success without effort, or thinking the rules that apply to others don't apply to you. The antidote to entitlement is gratitude, the recognition that everything you receive is part of a vast, interconnected exchange system. When truly grateful, you naturally want to give back, keeping the energy in healthy circulation. Corruption 3. Martyrdom. This is the opposite of entitlement. The belief that you must give without receiving. Martyrs drain themselves by constantly sacrificing for others, refusing to receive, and eventually becoming resentful when their unacknowledged needs aren't met. The shadow of martyrdom is disguised control. By making yourself indispensable through constant giving, you create dependency and manipulate others through obligation. True generosity flows from fullness, not depletion, and includes the grace of receiving and giving. Corruption 4. Transactional. This corruption reduces all exchanges to calculated transactions, eliminating the sacred dimension of energy exchange. Transactionalism turns relationships into business deals, spirituality into prosperity formulas, and love into a marketplace. While fair exchange is essential, sacred exchange transcends mere transaction. It includes elements of generosity, mystery, and grace that can't be calculated or quantified. The ancient traditions understood that the most powerful exchanges always include an element of the sacred. Corruption 5. Energy theft. The most insidious corruption is energy theft, taking what hasn't been freely given. This includes obvious forms like stealing, plagiarism, and exploitation, but subtle forms like stealing attention, borrowing energy through drama, or feeding off others' emotional responses. Energy vampires specialize in energy theft, using various manipulations to extract energy without fair exchange. Recognizing and protecting yourself from energy theft is essential for maintaining your energetic sovereignty. The sacred art of balanced exchange. Now that you understand how to avoid corruption, let's explore the practices that create sacred, balanced energy exchange in all areas of life. Practice 1. Conscious giving. Transform your giving by bringing full awareness to the act. Before giving anything, money, time, attention, or love, pause and check your intention. Are you giving to create genuine value for the receiver? Are you giving to manipulate or control? Are you giving out of obligation or joy? When you give consciously, you infuse your gift with clean energy, creating maximum benefit for both the giver and receiver. The ancient practice of Dana Paramita, perfection of giving, was not about how much you give, but about the consciousness with which you provide it. Practice 2. Graceful receiving. Many spiritual traditions emphasize giving, but receiving is equally sacred. When you receive gracefully, a compliment, a gift, help, or love, you complete the circuit of exchange and honor the giver's contribution. Practice receiving without immediately feeling obligated to give back. Learn to say thank you without diminishing the gift. Oh, this old thing, it was nothing. Allow yourself to fully absorb and appreciate what you receive before moving to reciprocate. Practice 3. Value recognition. Develop the ability to recognize actual value beyond conventional metrics. Not all valuable exchanges involve money or tangible assets. Some critical exchanges involve intangibles like wisdom, inspiration, emotional support, or spiritual connection. The ancient barter systems were based on sophisticated value recognition. Communities understood the relative value of different goods and services based on material costs and the energy, skill, and time involved in their creation. Practice 4. Energy circulation. Create practices that keep energy flowing smoothly through all your systems. Financially, this might mean regular giving to causes you believe in. Emotionally, it might mean expressing appreciation and love freely. Intellectually, it might mean sharing your knowledge while remaining open to learning. The principle of tithing, giving the first fruits of your harvest, was based on this understanding. By providing the first and best portion of your energy, you open the channel for continued abundance. Practice 5. Exchange boundaries. Establish clear boundaries around your various forms of exchange. Know what you will and won't exchange, under what conditions you'll exchange, and what constitutes fair exchange in different contexts. Boundaries aren't barriers. They're containers that allow energy to flow in healthy, conscious ways. Without clear boundaries, energy becomes chaotic, and exchanges become exploitative or depleting. The quantum science of energy exchange. What the ancients understood intuitively, modern quantum physics is now proving scientifically. Every exchange of energy follows precise laws that operate at the quantum level. The observer effect in quantum physics demonstrates that consciousness influences energy at the most fundamental level. When you bring conscious awareness to your exchanges, you're changing the quantum field in which those exchanges occur. Quantum entanglement proves that once two particles have interacted, they remain connected regardless of distance. This explains why energy exchanges create lasting connections between people. You remain energetically linked to those you've exchanged with, until that exchange is consciously completed. The principle of quantum coherence shows that organized energy systems are more potent than chaotic ones. When coherent exchanges are aligned in intention, action, and outcome, they generate far more power than scattered, unconscious exchanges. This isn't mystical speculation. It's cutting-edge science that validates what ancient wisdom traditions have taught for millennia about the nature of energy exchange. Mastering the language of universal exchange. The ultimate level of energy exchange mastery is learning to communicate directly with universal consciousness, the source of all energy in existence. The universe operates through a sophisticated language of energy exchange that few people ever learn to speak fluently. This language isn't English or Sanskrit. It's the language of consciousness itself, expressed through intention, vibration, and alignment. When you master this language, you can directly communicate with the universe. You offer your unique gifts, talents, and service, and the universe responds with synchronicities, opportunities, and resources that support your highest expression. This isn't magical thinking. It's practical energy mechanics. The universe naturally supports those who contribute to its evolution through conscious, generous exchange. This is the true meaning of abundance. Not accumulating more than others, but participating in the infinite circulation of universal energy. Your energy exchange practice begins now. The principles and practices you've learned today aren't just theoretical. They're practical tools that can transform your life experience when applied consistently. Begin implementing them immediately, starting with these simple steps. Step 1. Morning intention setting. Begin each day by consciously setting your exchange intentions. How will you give today? How will you receive it? What energy are you willing to exchange, and what boundaries do you need to maintain? Step 2. Exchange awareness. Throughout the day, bring conscious awareness to your exchanges. Notice when you're giving or receiving physical resources, emotional energy, power, truth, wisdom, or consciousness. Is the exchange balanced? Is your intention clear? Does it feel clean or corrupted? Step 3. Evening review. Each evening, review your exchanges. Which were most fulfilling? Which felt imbalanced? What patterns do you notice? How can you bring greater consciousness to your exchanges tomorrow? Step 4. Gratitude practice. End each day with gratitude for the exchanges you've experienced. Acknowledge what you've received and what you've been able to give. This gratitude keeps the energy of exchange flowing smoothly through your life. The evolution of exchange consciousness. As more people awaken to the true nature of energy exchange, we're approaching a tipping point in human consciousness. Imagine a world where exchanges are conscious, balanced, and sacred, where exploitation is replaced by collaboration, entitlement, gratitude, and transactionalism by holy reciprocity. This isn't utopian fantasy. It's the natural evolution of consciousness. As individuals master the language of energy exchange, they create fields of coherence that influence entire communities. These communities create new economic, social, and spiritual systems based on conscious exchange rather than exploitation and accumulation. You have the opportunity to be part of this evolution. With every exchange, you consciously transform ripples outward, affecting countless other exchanges throughout life. You're not just improving your own experience. You're contributing to the collective awakening of humanity, to the true nature of energy exchange. If this exploration of the secret language of energy exchange has awakened something within you, if you're feeling that spark of recognition about your exchange patterns, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. This channel is dedicated to unveiling the hidden mechanisms of reality and providing practical tools for conscious living. Like this video if it gives insights, you can apply them immediately to transform your exchanges and life. And in the comments below, share your experience. Have you noticed specific exchange patterns in your relationships or work? What challenges do you face in creating balanced exchanges? What shifts do you see when you bring consciousness to your exchanges? Next week, we're diving deep into the advanced protection techniques that ancient masters used to shield their energy from exploitation and theft. You won't want to miss the 30-day Energy Mastery Challenge, Ancient Methods That Work. Remember, you are not just participating in energy exchanges. You are a master of exchange with the inherent power to create sacred, balanced, transformative exchanges in every area of your life. The ancients understood this power, and now you do too. The universe is waiting to engage in conscious exchange with you. The question is, are you ready to learn its language? Until next time, exchange consciously, give generously, receive gracefully, and remember, you are far more powerful than you've been taught to believe.